The second week of the GPL wrapped up last Friday and a lot has changed, and stayed the same since the original week. The Filipino teams continued their struggles in Group A. Group B kept getting closer, and Group D is shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable groups of the season. My name is Sanius, and welcome to the GPL Breakdown. Group B opened up Week 2 with Mineski Globe and Team Infinite. Mineski had looked strong in their first match of the season where they drew with powerhouse team Saigon Fantastic 5. While Infinite had struggled with a loss to Ultimate, ultimately for Ultimate, their woes continued into Week 2, going down 0-2 to a fearsome Mineski. Game 1 was a quick 30-minute victory for Mineski thanks to roaming fishy Chi-Chi. He got going early and never looked like stopping, finishing 8-2-7 and even drawing a ban in the second game. Game 1 was also another fail for trademark Jack's Jungle, something that Infinite has attempted twice now, both times failing to get off the ground. Game 2 was better for Infinite, but Mineski showed that they were simply a better team with not much more to it. In the second match of the night, it was a Vietnamese derby with Saigon Fantastic 5 taking on NFAT Ultimate. Ultimate held the top spot of the group going into the week, but Saigon Fantastic 5 showed that they would be no easy beat. In fact, they never looked like losing. SF5 ended up walking over Ultimate 2-0 in a dominating fashion, and move up to equal first with Mineski. Nixwater would bring out his Lux in Game 1, again showing that Lux is to him what Anivia is to Froggen. Nixwater ended up carrying his team in both matches, destroying opposing mid laner Lucifer and being able to snowball around the map. This win is large for Saigon Fantastic 5 as it just solidifies their position in the important top 2 of the group. Day 2 opened up with another local derby, this time in the Philippines. Game X War Gods and War Gods PID Diamond went head to head in a seemingly dead rubber as ASUS Fate and Bangkok Titans set to look over the top 2 places. The Game X War Gods would show class in their set over Diamond, being a previous season GPL participant, ensured that Diamond would be no match over them, winning in a 2-0 victory. Game X War Gods AD carry VYY carried his team to victory in both matches, specifically Game 2 where he boasted a 12-1-10 score with Lucian. Diamond's jungler Meme brought out interesting picks, Nautilus and Xin Xiao, but failed to make an impact in either game. War Gods will have their chance to show that maybe they can contend with their higher position of the group next week when they play ASUS Fate. Top 2 teams Bangkok Titans and ASUS Fate played out the second match of the day in what will most likely determine number 1 and number 2 placings in the group. Bangkok Titans, who are eager to secure the first place finish, are finally showing that they can step up to bigger matches. Albeit with no Taiwanese teams, Bangkok Titans confirmed that they're a team to be reckoned with, while pulling a comfortable 2-0 win against their group's biggest contender. Not many expected the games to be as tough, but under the lead team captain Warlock, the Titans looked unstoppable with a final KDA of coming to more than 10. Warlock's Lysandra will need to be banned in the following games and bring confusion as to why Fate allowed him to have it twice. ASUS Fate's performance was worrying and will have to test against Game X War Gods next week, which they will need to win in order to stay in the top 2. In the final day of the week, Group D started the GPL Spring campaign, having had a bye in Week 1. Insidious Gaming Legends took on Kuala Lumpur Hunters in the first game, both teams from the Singapore Malaysian region, and both teams looking for the much-needed 3 points in such a close group. Ultimately, both teams would win a match each, with Insidious Gaming winning the first match while Kuala Lumpur Hunters hit back in the second. In Game 1, Kuala Lumpur Hunters put all their eggs in one basket, Jae-Young's Vayne, hoping he would be able to carry them into the late game. Unfortunately, he never got rolling as the entire IGL team, under Captain Top Laner Lai 4, who went flawless, snowballed their leads to victory, and closed out the game in a tidy fashion. In Game 2, Asura Veki got his chance to carry on his fizz, while top laner Ghost SK, who also went flawless. A good day for top laners. In the final game of the day and week, Malaysian team Besaro K-Thanks Bai took on Vietnamese team Sotac 269. The series would be incredibly close, with both games looking like they could go either way. It was, however, 269 who would have the edge in the late game, both times, picking up the set 2-0 despite KTB's best efforts. Game 1 saw 269 run a late game focused team comp with Krom's Poppy and Celebrities Tristana, and because they were able to stay close in the early mid game, the few last fights were a breeze for them in the otherwise close match. Game 2 would come to run by 269's AD carry Celebrity, finishing the game 15-1-2, featuring another GPL match-winning pentakill. That's it for the games as we move into the group standings and upcoming matches. Bangkok's Titans' victory ensured that they would stay at the top of Group A, while ASUS Fate were joined by Game X War Gods in the middle of the table. Diamond remain at the bottom with serious work to do before they can make a push for the top 2. Next week, Bangkok Titans will play Diamond in what should be a simple match for them, and ASUS Fate are to take on Game X War Gods, an important match for both teams who win either team should make a break for the top 2. Saigon Fantastic 5 and Mineski Globe remain tied, but now at the top of Group B after Ultimate's loss to SF5. Ultimate would have dropped to the third, while Infinite remains winless at the bottom. Next week, Group B has a bye with no matches to be played. Group C standings remained the same after a Week 2 bye. Next week, Saigon Jokers take on Yarkatar Juggernauts, while the currently winless Hanoi Full Lewis will look to break into the top 2 with a win over Team Fat Rabbit. Both games are up in the air, with all teams still having a good shot at finishing top 2. After Group D's first week, Sotek 269 sits alone at the top thanks to a draw between Kuala Lumpur Hunters and Sidious Gaming saw them with just a single point each. Bizarro K Thanks Bai's loss sees them in the last place, but still in a good enough position to really contest the top 2. Next week, IGL take on 269 and Kuala Lumpur Hunters take on KTB. This group is shaping up to be the closest of all groups, and all games will be exciting. 269 will be looking to keep their winning record going. IGL and Kuala Lumpur Hunters need to prove that they can win matches, while KTB also needs to show that they are not a 4th place walkover. Games resume Wednesday 2 AM Pacific Standard Time, midday Central European Summer Time, and 9 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Be sure to subscribe to see more recaps, highlights, and breakdowns, and like if you'd like to see more. See you next week.